Hey KFO family, Justin here, and I am out in the stand for the back half of the week. It's Thursday night, and we are going to try and get our deer tag for Minnesota filled. I've been homesick the last couple days and still feeling that today, so probably not going to be a lot of commentary from me, but hopefully we can get some good footage of some deer and we can get our tag filled. It sounds like the buck I seen this last weekend that was very abnormally dark in color is still around. My mom's seen that, so that's probably still our target buck. And if I get to a point where I'm just still feeling super crappy and not feeling any better as the weekend draws to an end, I do have some does patterned down at my grandparents', so we'll probably just try and take a nice mature doe down there. Okay, guys, since I've got a little bit of downtime here, I'm not seeing any deer, I figured this would be a really good time to go over some of the gear that I bring with when I go deer hunting. First up is our binoculars. They are the Vortec Crossfire, and these are the 12 by 50. And these have just been like a really good overall purchase. I use them a lot for scouting fields for duck and geese when we're doing waterfowl hunting. Obviously, deer hunting, being able to look out into this wide area that we got here. The property I hunt isn't necessarily as big, but over across the road in our adjacent property, that is a pretty big area, so it's nice to really be able to look out a ways and see what's coming. Also got the Vortex Crossfire HD 1400 rangefinder. It's got a very nice illuminated crosshair in there. Seems really accurate, so that's been a nice pickup that I made last year after season. For our shotgun of choice, I have a Savage 220 20 gauge. That's got a Nikon Pro Staff scope on it. And then we have paired that with the Freight Train Copper by Federal Premium. Had the best patterning with that. And then for a rest, I use the Primos trigger stick. I did have some little orange gun rests that went in the windows in here, but I prefer the trigger stick since I tend to sit center of stand. Just helps me to not move as much. And then for the call that I brought with today, I've got the Flextone Extractor. This is an adjustable call. You can go from a buck to a doe to a fawn, all just by sliding this. So it's a pretty neat little call. You got the snort wheeze on top. And then of course we got our Blaze Orange, which I have chose to go now with Non-Typical by Drake. Anybody that knows me knows what a big advocate I am for Drake gear, from their blind bags to their clothing. I have never had a Drake product that I've been disappointed in. So we of course jumped on board this year with Non-Typical by Drake. It's the same sweatshirt that I wear for waterfowl hunting, just in Blaze Orange. So definitely love their clothing. Great products and great customer service too. I've had a few questions they've been able to answer, no problems. So make sure you go check out Drake and their Non-Typical lineup for you deer hunters and for your waterfowl guys. I know you've heard of Drake. They make some awesome products. Alright guys, we got our first deer that we're seeing for the evening. That's already more than I seen all of last weekend. Got 3 up top there. Got another 2 over here. Unfortunately, I got a long ways to go to make it over to us, but we still got plenty of time, so we'll see what happens. Got a nice buck that just walked in. Definitely the nicest one I've seen so far. Wish I could zoom in a little bit more. He looks really good on binoculars. But he's all 200 yards yards out, 2 properties over. It's funny how seeing a nice buck can help you clear a head cold. That buck was definitely on high alert to something. He only came so far and he would not move another inch. Then he ended up taking back off the backside of that hill. So that one got me a little shaky. That was a nice one. Well, everybody, we came and we saw, and boy did we see, there were deer everywhere, just nothing within range. Was going to take off and head back to the house, but it sounds like we got deer up there in the yard, so I'm just going to hang tight here for a little bit and see what happens. I got about 3 minutes left of shooting light, which I don't know that I would even be comfortable taking a shot. So it's been an interesting season. More deer in 3 hours tonight than I seen all last weekend, so that's a positive sign. Hopefully I feel better tomorrow and get out here and get after it again. Well, good afternoon, KFO family. It is Friday of second weekend for Minnesota deer season. I'm feeling a lot better today. Unfortunately, it was very, very foggy this morning, so I just got out here and got set up about 20 minutes ago. It's 3 o'clock, and I would guess since end of shooting was 5:23 last night, it's probably going to be around 5:20 tonight, so got 2 hours and 20 minutes or so. See what we can see. Seen a lot of deer last night has me hopeful of what could potentially be a successful season. But even if I do not harvest my deer, I'm still chalking this year up as a pretty big win for deer hunting, because I got to have both my boys out in the stand with me at one point or another. The only thing that could have made it better is if Canute wouldn't have been sick. Chris had a great time out here. We got to do some filming, got to just spend some good father-son time together. Canute being sick, he was a trooper. He definitely came out here and gave it 110%. Had a lot of fun in the short amount of time he was out here, so it's still a win. Getting to spend time with both my boys out doing what I love, and hopefully they will grow to love. That is a successful season in my book. So now it's just a matter of, are we going to fill the tag or not? That buck that ended up seeing last night, that was a nice deer. I was pretty excited about him. I had a very hard time holding the rangefinder and the camera steady. I was a little shaky. And even with the camera zoomed in all the way, I mean, couldn't get a really good picture of him, but in the binoculars, it was a nice buck. He had a very nice rack. So, as I've stated a couple different times, I am not opposed to shooting a nice mature doe or even just an average buck. I would just feel really bad punching the tag if something better, more mature could have came along. I don't want to take anything that's too young, kind of like that little buck from last weekend. That he was definitely in range. I think the closest I had him was 30 yards. So we'll be patient, we'll wait it out. And like I say about hunting in general, for me it's all about the experience, getting to be out here with the boys and just being out here by myself, even just relaxing. It's definitely worth the cost of admission, which for an out-of-state license, it's $200 for me. Not quite, but close. $200 to come back home to Minnesota and be able to hunt for 9 days. So pretty cheap entertainment in the world of hunting and fishing, I guess. But hopefully this haze fog kind of breaks up. I don't think it's going to, but it would be nice to have a scenic sunset like we did last night. I think I got a decent shot of that on film. I've just kind of been changing what window I have the GoPro in, so you get a little different perspective every day that we're out here. But so far, about 20 minutes to a half hour in, I haven't seen anything. But I figure right around 4 o'clock, I think, is when I started seeing some deer last night. I would fully expect the same today. I'm guessing they probably kind of held tight with the fog and stuff earlier today, so maybe they'll be a little more active. Put out a fresh wick with some doe estrus on it from Wildlife Research Center. That is allowed in our zone. You can use doe estrus, so I know some of the zones in Minnesota now with CWD and other deer illnesses have prohibited the use of stuff like that, so we're fortunate enough to still be able to use that little bit of an aid here. Okay guys, I just seen the first buck I was trying to keep an eye on from last weekend. Straight to the north of me in the wildlife. That was the buck that was very, very dark. So I lost him in some brush down there, but it's the first action I've seen other than seeing a river otter, which is kind of uncommon for right here. We've had him a couple times, but it's been a few years now. He's out here again. Let's see if I can get his attention. It's windy enough. I don't know if the sound's going to carry, but see what happens. Alright guys, we've only got about 20 minutes left for Friday. So as it's looking, this will not be the year that we make it a three-peat of getting our deer Friday of second weekend. Only seen 2 deer tonight, and I can't say for certain that the weather today had something to do with that, but I would feel pretty confident in saying it didn't help. So it got kind of overcast here, so things got dark pretty quick. I don't know. I just was really hoping to see a little bit more. Seeing that dark buck though, that was exciting. I was kind of worried if that buck would be around still. So that was good. I did hear a shot a little bit ago, but it sounded like that was quite a ways from here. But not a whole lot of movement otherwise. Pretty quiet evening. I'm going to show you guys this really pretty sunset though. It's almost a picture perfect one there. So I think that'll about do it for our Friday adventure. Tomorrow morning we'll be out again, hoping to sit until at least 12:30. Then we'll be back out again on Sunday. So hopefully we can get it done. But just like looking at that sunset, when you get views that are as pretty as that, it's kind of hard to be upset no matter what happens. Good morning, KFO family. We are back out in the stand. It is the last day of Minnesota shotgun rifle firearm season. So hopefully we can get that tag filled today. I've been out here for a couple hours now and decided to just take the morning for myself and enjoy what was going on around me. It was the first morning, well, even since opening morning, honestly, where it hasn't been extremely foggy. So I decided to just enjoy the morning and not do any filming or anything and just watch the pheasants and other wildlife kind of wake up for the day, and it was very enjoyable. But now it's down to business. Time is ticking down, and I haven't seen a deer yet today. So hopefully we can change that before the day is over. But it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining bright, just a tiny breeze. The pheasants are just going crazy. It's been a lot of fun to watch them running around, so hopefully we can get a deer to come in. But like I said at the end of last week's video, it's been a very memorable deer season with just having the boys with and getting Knut out on his first hunt and stuff. Like it's been a successful year, and I've seen a lot of deer, so I can't complain about that. It's been very hard to be motivated to hunt in the morning since I haven't seen any deer in the mornings, really, other than opening morning. But we're gonna try and sit here as much as possible today. I'm gonna have to take a break at some point and get out and move around, but I do plan on being here more than I'm not in here, so I don't know. It's crazy how few deer there are, like compared to past years, and it's not even that I feel like I haven't seen a lot of deer. It's just compared to past years. But as of yet this morning, haven't seen anything other than pheasants and people probably going into town for church, so I had my church in the stand and just kind of was one with nature for a while, turned off the heat, opened up the windows, and just kind of immersed myself in the surrounding. Alright guys, it is 10:03, just seen the first deer I've seen yet today. It's out a ways, and honestly thinking it might have just bedded down. So I was getting ready to go in and take a nap, but on the off chance that this deer works its way over, I'm gonna hold tight here for another hour or so. came from the west, so through our neighbor's property. And it's just gone all of a sudden. I think I might see it, but can't really tell. The grass is moving a lot. The wind really came up today. It was really nice and calm this morning, but yeah, it's definitely picked up, which is part of the reason I'm ready to go in. I'm just kind of tired of listening to it howl, so I will give it a little bit of extra time now, though, that we have seen some movement. I have kind of expected this morning to be slow. That's just been the trend this year. Not a lot of morning movement, so it's been looking back on some film from last weekend and enjoying the clips of the boys and I and just reminiscing a little bit. But I don't know. It's been really quiet. I'm having a real hard time staying focused on looking for deer. Okay, I don't have my microphones in, but our little buck friend from last weekend is back. Hey everybody, we are back out in the stand for the afternoon on this last day of deer season. It's 54 degrees, it is warm, it's like sitting in an oven right now, but we're pretty comfortable. Got all the necessities. The Vikes are winning, so we'll take that. Beautiful day. Hopefully we can get it done today and wrap up our deer season, so we'll check in with you when something happens. It's been absolutely dead this afternoon. I have not seen anything other than the occasional pheasant. I gotta get that last smell of autumn blend in for the year. Killer Autumn Blend. Love the smell of that stuff. Just kind of a side note. I truly think by opener being a week later, I think this last weekend we missed the rut completely. You know, years past I've seen a lot of bucks with nose to the ground. I've had bucks bust does that were walking up to the stand, and there has just not been any of that this year. Even that little buck that I got on film the other night, like, he was just on a mission to get to the corn. There was no trailing anything or whatever. And obviously this abnormally warm weather is not helping either. I know last year, the day that I shot ramen, there was snow on the ground. There wasn't a lot of it, but it had snowed, because I got a really nice picture of him laying there. As we wind down, it's just another beautiful evening. Given that we don't have a whole lot of time left, we're gonna try and see what we can do with the bleat can. We've got 5 minutes. vortex binoculars, even in this super low light, do an amazing job of picking up what little light there is. I mean, I can look out in front of me and see plain as day looking through these. These are just the entry level crossfires. But season is officially over, so I can talk normal. I want to say thank you to everybody that followed with on this journey this year. We didn't get the total result we were looking for, but it was still an amazing year. And we have a lot of stuff coming up still with pheasant hunting and waterfowl hunting, ice fishing. So the year is far from over, and we have a lot planned still. Like any festivals or different things that we can go to, like we're gonna go check them out, and we're gonna take you guys with, and just get out, get out and see what's going on in the hunting and fishing world. I'm hoping to try a bunch of different places for ice fishing this year, kind of expand our horizons a little bit. Last year with the poor weather and poor ice conditions, like we got out one time. So hopefully it's a little different story this year, but it's been a lot of fun. This hunting season has been the best hunting season of my life, and a lot of that is just because I've been able to experience it with my kids. And I tell you what, guys, it's fun hunting with your friends. It's a game changer to be able to hunt with your kids. Like that's where the magic's at. Being out there with your kids and getting to see their reactions. For a lot of years it was either of the boys when I'd come home with geese or ducks or a deer or whatever, just getting to be part of the cleaning and processing end of it, but actually having them out there in the field with you, that is, like, there's nothing that beats that. Like, you get to raise your best friend for hunting and fishing for life. So, on that note, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate all the support. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry there isn't a big buck at the end of it or a big doe, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and we will see you on our next adventure.